Yo, guys, are you thinking about buying a house? Are you thinking about getting your first property or getting a home and you are not sure? Then this update is for you. Wait, is that the size of my head? No, I don't think so. Yo, guys, my name is Shidera Okoronkwo, a realtor and a real estate consultant. Here at Real Estate Talk Together, we say everything real estate, your answers, your questions, latest trends, we got you covered. Let's go. Now, are you thinking about buying a home? Or probably you are not sure you're ready to buy a home. Now, this entails a big decision, and it's not something you can just decide to wake up and say, I've woken up today, I want to get a house, I want to buy a home. No, it doesn't work like that. I mean, you want to buy your first home, it entails that you have plans, you have things in place, you have decisions, big and major decisions in place that okay, at the end of the day, you'll be like, okay, I am ready to make this choice. I am ready to go the next step of buying a home. But if you are not sure, then this video is rightly for you. Now, today, I'm going to give you 3 tips on the reasons or to be sure that you're ready to buy a home. Now, these 3 tips are going to guide you out of many tips. These tips are going to help you, give you a background knowledge of asking yourself a question: am I ready to make this purchase? All right, let's go into it together. Number 1, steady income or savings. Now, you need to have a good level of amount in your budget for you to be able to make a purchase. You cannot just decide to wake up and you be like, I want to buy a house, when you don't even have something coming in for you on a steady note. I mean, you cannot decide to make a purchase when you've looked at your account, you don't have a steady flow of income, you don't have a steady flow of cash, you don't have a steady inflow. It doesn't work like that. I mean, for you to ask yourself that question and say, okay, I want to make this purchase, you must have looked at your account, you must have looked at yourself and said, okay, I have a steady flow of income, this thing comes in at a good rate, and if this thing can come in at this good rate, I can make a purchase. I can take from here and make this purchase. I mean, you have to ask yourself that question, because this is the first step you have to take. Because if you don't have a good steady flow of income, there is no way you even think about purchasing a home. It is a big decision, and big decisions take big steps. And one of the steps is to look at yourself and say, I have a steady flow of income, I can do this. Now, number 2 is long-term commitments. Now, in my previous videos where I talked about renting versus buying, we talked about long-term commitment. Now, this is the second way to assess yourself and ask yourself, am I ready to make this purchase? That is a long-term commitment. Now, if you're ready to stay in a particular location, in a particular area for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, if you've looked at your job, if you looked at your line of work and you said to yourself, okay, in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I can be able to stay in one location. Staying in one location doesn't mean you don't have to travel. No, that's not what I mean. Staying in one location is a place you can call a home, a house, where you can stay for 2, 3 years without being transferred to a new location, because it's going to be a problem for you. If you're somebody who you're not sure of yourself and you're not sure that you're going to be in that same location for a period of time, I don't think buying a house is for you. Now, if you've looked at yourself and you said to yourself, sure, I'm going to stay in a particular location for 1 to 3 years, then I think you've made a second choice of trying to buy a home. I mean, it's an important decision. It's a big decision of your life, and there is no way you want to make these decisions and you don't think you have to. And the second way you have to do that is to look at yourself and plan yourself and say, okay, on the long run, I am going to stay here for a couple of time, for a year, 2, 3, 4 years, and I'm going to stay in the same place. That is a long-term commitment. If you're sure of yourself, then you are almost there. Now, the third one is what I call emergency fund. Let me come again. Emergency fund. Now, it sounds somehow, but it is very, very important. Most of these homes we want to buy comes with some kind of expenses, and most times you don't feel you have to make these expenses, but when you purchase this home or when you purchase this property, these things come. So it is very important to have an emergency fund. Now, having an emergency fund means that you have a fund where you can easily take out money and you will not get moved. It will not shake you in any way. That is why it's called an emergency fund. It's an emergency fund for a reason. I mean, come on, you stay in a home and something comes up unexpectedly. What do? You should have an emergency fund. Now, if you have this covered, where you have a steady flow of income, where you have a long-term commitment, and where you have an emergency fund. I mean, you've taken a big step to owning a property. I mean, there could be other reasons, there could be other tips, but these first three tips are good for you to start thinking, okay, I have sorted these three things out, and I think I am ready to make this step. It's a big decision, come on. And there is no way you can make decisions without doing these things you're supposed to do. It is very important you have an emergency fund somewhere. It is very important because most times expenses come out. And if you don't have an emergency fund, that's a problem. And you don't want to have this problem, do you? You don't. Now, having listened to these three tips and it is sounding like you, and you're feeling, this guy is really talking to me, like, okay, why are you taking this thing personal? If you are thinking like that, then I think it is important for you to reach out. And let's plan. Let's look at your decisions. I help you at each step. I help you plan yourself. I help you plan these decisions, make these decisions. If you're part of these people, all you have to do is very, very simple. Reach out to me. Either you contact the number on your screen or you contact me on all socials. I will be there to answer your questions.